Hi, this is Jeremy from Local Biz Online. I'm just going to take you through a short video on how to do basic edits to your website. Now, the first thing you do is you obviously go to your website. In this case, you type in whatever your website URL is, your website address, and you go to it. Then once you're on your website page, it's really simple. You click on the top, you put / and you type in WP admin. This is going to enable you to log into the back end of your website. You press enter. A login area like this will come up. As you can see, we're using WordPress. Your website will be built on WordPress. And WordPress is by far the most powerful and popular platform. More than 30% of the internet is powered by WordPress. Massive sites like CNN and all kinds of huge brands use WordPress. So you would type in the username that you have been given for your website and your password, and then you press login. Okay, once you're logged in, you'll see a whole lot of things on the left here. Now, you only need to worry about one thing, and that's pages. Nothing else you need to worry about. The rest of it is settings that we've set up to optimize your website for speed, for search engine rankings, and a whole bunch of other different things. You click all pages. Now you will have your web pages listed here. Because this is a test website, I'm just demonstrating for you. I've only got one page. You'll have a bunch of pages listed here. Now when you hover over the page, it gives you a few options. You're going to want to choose Edit with Elementor. That's the only option you need to use. The rest of the options are not relevant, and Elementor is the software that your website is built on top of for you to be able to make easy visual changes. Okay, I'm going to take you through how you can do basic edits on your website. This is an introduction video, like I already said, so we're just going to be showing you the absolute basics, which is changing out images, background images, and changing text. This is 1% of what you can do in the software in the program. Okay. So once you have pressed Edit with Elementor and you will come up with a page that looks like this. On the left hand side is where all the options are to edit the various elements. On the right is your page, and as you hover you can see the different elements are broken into like blocks, and you can edit each element that opens up. You just need to click on it or click on the edit button on the right if you're confused about that. And then on the left you'll see now the text for this particular section comes up on the left hand side. You can go in here, you can highlight it, you can change it and say this is the new heading. Now that's really how you can change any text when you press on any section of the website. For instance, the section here, let's click on this. On the left you'll see there's a new section of text that's come up. You can highlight it and you can maybe just change a few parts of it and say this is more text. So that's how you make text edits. You can go anywhere where there's text. For instance, this section here, you'll see it doesn't come up individually. It's one block because this is actually a section that works together. So if you click on it, you'll see on the left you've got the image you can change, and you've got the title you can change, and you've got the text underneath that you can change. So if you want to change the image, you just don't click delete, or you can, but you click in the middle and it will give you an option to upload a file, and you can go to your computer. You know how to do that. Just upload any file. Once the file's finished uploading, it will appear here in your media library, and you can change the image to, let's say, that. So now there is that picture instead, and you can go do that for each of these sections. So the basic functionality of Elementor is that it works in blocks on this page. And each block that you hover over, if it highlights in blue, it means you can edit it. For that one, you can see I can change this picture out again for something different. You'll see the reason why these pictures are suddenly look a little bit off is because the size of these pictures is actually, the aspect ratio or the way it's cropped is a little bit different. So if you want a uniform look, you would make sure you're bringing in images that are the same, more or less the same size. Okay. If we scroll down here, you'll see this is a whole bunch of images in an image gallery. So if I click on it, this is called the image carousel. And you can click in the middle if you want to edit these images. So let's say you want to delete a few, you didn't want so many, or if you want to do add more, you could add a different one, maybe those two, they were not there before. Insert gallery, and now you will see that we've got the two new images we inserted there. So the beauty of Elementor is that it's the same to edit any block on your page. Well, they're actually called widgets. That's the correct word. To edit any widget is the same process, and you've got the same options available to you. I'll give you another example. Let me quickly show you how to edit a background. You'll see here, this whole, if we hover over this section here, this is behind these three sections or four sections over here, this video. So we'd have to click up here to get this full section. We just click on it. Okay. You will see there's no option to edit the image here. Don't worry about these settings now. This is quite advanced stuff that you can learn, but that's not the purpose of this video. If you click on style, that's how you access the background image. At the moment, the background image is set to video. We could change that. We could change it to just classic would be an image. We can make it a color, or we can click and make it an image. So that's the basics of it. As you can see, there's actually something called the background overlay, because look at the color of that background compared to that image. It's a little bit got a purple look to it. That's because there's a background overlay over here. You'll see in purple adjusted to it. And we can change that to red, and we can change the degree to what the red is affecting it. So that's just a taste of what you can do. Let me show you one or two more widgets. The button widget, for example, if I click on it, I can change the text here. Instead of join the next tour, maybe you can say book now. Another widget is, if you click over here, this is an icon widget. This is quite useful. It's actually an icon box. If you click down, choose icon, there's already a whole bunch of preset icons you can choose from. I don't know why, but I'll choose a bath. And then you can say here, bath tour instead of bike tour. So basically that is Elementor and how to do quick edits. Once you know how to edit one widget, the rest of the widgets will be easy because it's the same process. It's got the same settings for each widget. There's also some great tutorials online for Elementor. Just do a Google search tutorials for Elementor, or go on YouTube and just type in Elementor, and you will see that there's tons of great tutorials, more in depth. But this should get you most of the way there with editing on the page, on the Elementor page, changing text and changing pictures. And of course, don't forget to save. Saving is really easy. You just press Ctrl S like you would in any application to save, and you'll see at the bottom the little thing will say syncing, then it'll say saved, or you can scroll to the bottom and just press save, and that little rotating icon will show you that it's saving and will tell you when it's finished saving. You must save. There's one more thing that's quite nice about Elementor, is that it has a history. So it has an ability to show you and you to revert back to changes even from a few days ago. So if you really mess up something and you want to go back a previous day, or if you'd like us to go back to how your site was, if you're not happy with the changes, all you have to do is press the all you have to do is on the bottom left, you'll see it says history. When you hover over it, click it. If you click it, you'll see it'll tell you all the edits that you've made, and you can even go back. For instance, here's where editing started. Now if you had done edits over several days, or if we had done edits for you, this would go back into days or weeks. But for instance, we can click to the back of our initial edits, edited starting edit. This is before I even loaded that template. Now this is back to how it initially was in the very beginning. You just give it a second for the video to load here in the background. So as you can see, this is how it was in the very beginning before we made any edits. And if we wanted to go back to maybe some point in it, there we are, you can see an edit we made there, and there when we made that edit, and then back to how it is now with bath tour. Remember, we made that change. So that's a really nice function. It's this little history function to go back and see if you think this is what's great about this is to see if your changes look better or worse. So I can go back to the very beginning and look at that, and then I can go to the top to how it is now. I can look at that and say, yeah, I prefer the red. And then don't forget, press save. And that's it. You're done. Save your work and it will go live onto the internet. Okay, once you've pressed save, or at any point you want to see how your website looks, your page, your changes look without this bar on the left here, you just hover over this arrow where it says preview, you click it, and it takes that whole box away and you can see what your website looks like. Then you can click it back to come back. Now, if you want to go edit the rest of your pages, once you're happy with this page and you saved it, at the bottom there's a little X mark, you press exit, you go back to the dashboard. Okay, there, and it'll take you back to where you were in WordPress. So once you're in the back end of WordPress, again, you just click on pages, all pages, and it will list the pages that you have on your website. You can go through one by one and click edit with Elementor. You can even right click and say edit with Elementor on a new tab if you want several pages open at once and to edit. So if you just follow this process, you can go through each page one by one, make your edits, save them, and then go back to the WordPress dashboard by just clicking on the bottom left view dashboard. If you have any questions or would like us to help you, please, as usual, feel free to reach out, drop us a phone call, drop us an email, and we'd love to help. And once you click on all pages, you will see your pages listed